Today's topic is why unconditional love seems not to work for you when you are trying to fix your marriage. If you find that you are trying to fix your marriage and unconditional love seems not to work for you, you're trying your best, you've been working hard on your marriage, and you find that the more you try, your spouse seems not to believe that you have changed. They say something like, this is going to take some time. They say something like, I'm not sure that this time around you have really changed. They say something like, I see that you're trying, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to do this. If you are in that space, I want to share with you 4 things today that you should consider about unconditional love and how it can really help you move forward in your desire to transform your marriage, to save your marriage. If you're struggling in that process, maybe you found that your marriage was struggling and you started to work hard on it, and you know you've worked really hard, you've seen transformation in yourself, your spouse is not seeing it, and you're wondering, maybe all I've done is it's a waste. And then I want to speak with you and help you move past that today. Usually when people who are working with me have this challenge, it's because they have connected the work that we're doing to a particular response, a particular transformation that they want in their spouse, not necessarily in their self. So if you are struggling with saving your marriage and you're most concluding that unconditional love doesn't work for you, the reason why that is happening is because you've assumed that if I follow the process of learning how to tap into unconditional love, then I'm going to get a particular response from my spouse. She's going to love me more. She's going to be happy to try again with me. That's what you have at the back of your mind. And when you don't get that response, you may feel that it's not going well. And so today I want to share with you why that happens and how you can just work deep within you so that that doesn't happen anymore. That's what I want to share with you today. And the reason why being connected, attaching your progress, your work in learning how to tap into unconditional love to a particular response, the reason why it doesn't work is because your spouse is going to wonder, why is he doing this? Is he doing it because he wants me to respond in a particular way? And if I respond in that particular way, will he stop the process? The same thing with your spouse. If you're a woman, your husband may not be responding well to you because he thinks that if he changes, maybe you will change again to what he is scared of. Doesn't matter if what he is scared of is true or not. What matters is that this is the mind space that he is in. And so I'm going to speak directly to the husband today, but you can apply it to yourself if you're a wife watching this video. And so the husband, I want to speak to you. If you are discovering that you're making all this effort to tap into love, you're doing all the exercises, you're following the process, you're taking responsibility for your own joy, and you are living the life that you believe Christ wants you to live, and you are being kind, and for some reason your wife is not responding the way you want her to, and you're feeling like, I'm going to give up on this, or you're responding to her in ways that she is wondering in her mind. Well, if you say you have changed, then why are you so angry, or why do you respond in a way that is negative when I don't respond to you? Why is that? And I want to share with you the reason why that is happening is because you have not yet committed yourself to that transformation the way it ought to be. If you want a change, if you want your change to be, to come out as authentic and permanent as we want it to be, then you have to make up your mind that, you know what, regardless of the outcome, regardless of what my wife does, I'm going to continue to be who I've decided to be. This is the decision that you must make at the beginning of your journey. If you want a marriage to be transformed, you must start with this in mind, that I will take responsibility for my own life, my own walk with God, and I will live as a love missionary for the rest of my life, whether my wife wants to join me on the journey or not. This is not indifference. You're going to still love her. You're still going to be interested in seeing her happy. You're still going to be interested in seeing her follow God. What I'm saying to you is that you've made up your mind that whether she does what, or whether she does what you want, which is, it makes life easier for you or not, you will never again live the way you were living, which was selfish, self-centered, and trying to control. You will no longer go back to the level of love at which you were operating, but you're going to always operate at the level of God's love, which is the level of unconditional love, all your life. And as long as you've not made up this decision, you've not made this decision, you are going to struggle. Because every time she is happy with you and she's doing well with you, you will treat her the way she wants you to treat her. And then when she's not feeling good or she's having a bad habits, you also change to your own bad habits. Then there's no reason why she can trust you, because that's why the marriage began to struggle in the first place. It began to struggle because both of you got into a space where you don't trust each other and you begin to treat each other negatively. What you are saying is that I don't want to live my life like that anymore. I'm done with living a life that is attached to a human. I've decided now to live my life centered on God, and everything I do, I'm going to let it emanate from the love of God, from the love that God pours in my heart. When you do that, unconditional love works for you. It works for you because you're going to be sending that signal to your spouse that I love you regardless. I love you not because I want you to stay with me, not because I'm afraid that if you're not with me, people will think that I'm a failure as a husband. I'm working on myself because I know it is what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. This is what every spouse wants from their partner. If you get into this and you make up your mind that I'm not attached, my work on myself, it's not based on just what I want to get from my wife or for my spouse. My work on myself, learning to tap into love, is because it is what God calls me to do, and it is what I delight in doing. It is what I am designed to do. When that is why you do what you do, everything in you is going to say that. It's something that has to be done deep within you. It is the first step of this journey. If you do not make that step and you skip the step and you just learn all the stuff, you will find yourself giving up every time. You will find yourself being frustrated when you think that everything is going well and your spouse just out of the blue say something very mean. They can say after you've worked 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months, and everything seems to be going well, just because they're having a bad day, they can say something like, this is not going to work, I'm done, I don't want this anymore. And if they say that and you crash, that tells you that your reason for working on yourself was attached to their response. It wasn't attached to the fact that you as a person have decided to live your life like Jesus wants you to live it. You've not attached yourself to the fact that I want to be a love missionary. I want to be a person that distributes the love of God to those who don't have it. So unconditional love will look at and seem, that's why the topic is will seem as if it's not working when the love you are learning is really not unconditional. Because the meaning of unconditional means is that regardless of how the outcome is, I will continue to love. That's what unconditional love means. And that's why everything we do, everything I try to train is based on scriptures and is based on you becoming who God wants you to be. And when you release that love, it is the love that transforms the world. When Jesus says you are the light of the world, he is not joking. When the same love that brought Jesus from heaven to the earth, took him to the cross, raised him from the dead, and he was resurrected and ascended, it is the same love that I'm trying to train you to tap into and then release into your marriage. It is powerful, life transforming. But if you come to it with a mindset that I'm going to just learn stuff and I'm going to apply it to my spouse and it's going to make them take some actions, you're going to find that it won't work at first, and it will look as if it's not working, and it will not work because you are trying to use that. So that's the first step. If you're trying to use unconditional love as a tool to get your spouse to do certain actions, you're going to struggle. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is take this as a lifestyle that you're going to live forever, regardless. And in you, make up your mind that, yes, I have lived my life selfishly before. I've lived my life without discipline before. I've lived my life with me at the center while lying that Jesus is at the center. I've lived my life with my desire to control my spouse, even when I was saying it is love, but no more. From now on, I'm going to live my life with Jesus as the center and live my life for him. And I'm going to decide never to be a controller. I'm not going to control anyone. I'm going to let Christ control them. If you've made up your mind that this is how I'm going to live my life, then you're going to begin to see the biggest transformation first in you. And when you're transformed, the next thing you want to do is get addicted and committed to that transformation. Not you don't want to be motivated by the changes you see in your spouse. You want to be motivated by the changes you see God doing in you. And you want to be able to trust that if I continue to change, I would definitely see the right outcome. And even if I don't, I will never go back to the way I used to be. This is what it takes to make unconditional love work, because it has to be you. So that's the first thing. A lot of times people struggle because they're trying to use it to get a result. The second thing I want to say is that a lot of people are not committed to love. They are committed to getting what they want. They're committed to having a softer life, an easier life. All right. So the goal for loving is not to learn how to love properly. It's not to work the process, to enjoy the process of loving even the people that are unlovable. So they don't practice this all around. They only practice it on their spouse to get a specific result. So when you are not committed to it, you only committed for a season, it shows. in your spouse. And they're going to be wondering, the question that's in the heart of your spouse is, so if I change now, will they change? See, your wife is asking herself this question. If I begin to trust this man right now, if I begin to trust what he's saying to me right now, is he going to change? Is he going to become less attentive just because he got what he wants? Or has he made up his mind that this is the life that he wants to live? So my prayer for you is that you become a lifelong committed student of love. You want to learn how to tap into love and live the love life. Now, a lot of people say to themselves, okay, I need a change right now because my children are suffering. I can't afford to go through the pain that we're going through for longer. I've been going through this pain for years. I need the pain to stop. I need the stress to stop. And so this idea that there's something urgent, there's something that needs to be done right now, and if we don't do it right now, we're not going to be able to survive. This also can make a person think that unconditional love is not working, because you're judging it by a very short time span. And I've seen that happen where a person is doing great work. They're doing great work. They're working on their heart, but then they're looking for things to speed things up. They tell me things like, they're not calling me yet. We're not smiling yet. We're not the way we want to be yet. Yes, it took you years to get to where you are. And it doesn't necessarily have to take the same length of time to get you to the place you want to be, but you need to allow the process. You need to trust that even if it goes really bad and you separate, if you keep working on the process, she will come back. And if she doesn't come back, then that's it. You are a different person, and the next one is going to be better. So it's important that you trust the process. And I want to say to you, if you have this idea in your mind that you don't have much time, your spouse also has the idea that, well, the reason why you think you don't have much time is because you're looking for a short cut to the solution, and it's not going to last. So I want to encourage you, if you are thinking you're working hard on unconditional love, you're choosing every time to take responsibility for your own feelings, your own emotions, you're creating a space that is very healthy and free for your spouse to be themselves. You are you're refraining from using those negative habits that you have been using to trying to control the situation. You're doing all the things that we teach in this system, and you're not seeing the result yet. I want to say to you, do not get into the trap of thinking that you must get a result suddenly or quickly. Rather, trust the process. The last step I want to say to you is that you have not decided that you're going to be a person that is known to love. In the type of transformation that I like to teach is a type that totally changes your whole life. Your whole life changes the way you interact with your children as well, not just your spouse, your children, your colleagues at work, your neighbors, the whole earth. You want to become a love missionary. That's what I call you. A person that is so full of love and learns to tap into God's love that they have unlimited reservoir of love, and they're willing to share it with everyone and anyone they meet. If you have not committed yourself to that, it's not become your identity, you are going to still struggle. And so what should you do? Keep working on it. Keep working on love becoming your identity. And when you find yourself reacting, wanting to give up, wanting to stop the process because your spouse is not responding the way you want, let that be a reminder to you that this has not become my identity yet. Because when it becomes my identity, it doesn't matter what anybody does. I sent out the message the other day that when you go to the store to buy oranges, or you go to a tree to get oranges, those oranges, if they taste good, they're going to taste good. It doesn't matter who takes it. It doesn't matter who buys it. You also, my friend, my brother, my sister, you don't need to change your behavior, the kind of love, the kind of power, the kind of passion, the kind of grace that comes out of you should not change based on who you're interacting with. It should be constant. And you may not be there yet, and I'm not trying to say that you've done anything wrong by not being there. I'm just trying to encourage you that even if it seems it's not working, do not give up. Rather, continue to work it. And it may not work because you have not really started working the real stuff. Maybe you're just thinking that you're doing it, but you're secretly behind your mind, at the back of your mind, you're doing it for a purpose, for a response. Then you want to stop that, and you want to work deep within your heart until you say, I want this to be my identity. It's not because of what I want, it's because of who I am becoming. And once you hit that, you are golden, because you will keep working regardless. And if you keep working and you keep doing it, then you get the kind of result that God wants you to get, because you are tapping into God's power. You're tapping into God's plan. You're tapping into God's process. That's how you get the type of testimonies where spouses who are addicted will come back and begin to work on their addiction. Spouses who have cheated on their spouse will be broken down, and they will repent, and the marriage becomes stronger. That's where you get the kind of testimonies where wives or husbands who have gone out, walked away from the marriage, suddenly are restored. Why? Because you have chosen to become a different person, a person who's not self-centered and selfish, and who is not thinking that love is to control the other, but rather to free the other to be themselves, while they are completely centered on Christ. Right? So I'm sharing this for those who have been watching my videos and are trying it, but it's not working for them, or it looks like it's working for a while and then it suddenly stops working. I'm trying to share this with you to tell you why that is. And if you take care of those 4 things that I've shared, you've made up your mind, like, okay, right, I'm not going to use this to get a result. I'm going to do this because it's what I want to do. I'm going to commit to this, and I'm going to commit to it for the rest of my life. I'm not going to get frustrated if the time that it takes is longer than I expect, and it's going to become my life. It's going to become my identity. Then I want to assure you that you're going to see the kind of results that are just miraculous. You're going to see them, and you're going to celebrate them. And you know what? What is my own passion there is that you're going to transmit this lifestyle. I want that. That's the reason why I do this. I do this because I know that if you as a person get this, and you allow God to train you and enable you to pour love from His love, you tap into it and pour it into your marriage, and you become good at that, everybody that is connected with you can learn that and transmit it. And we bring light to the world. This is why Jesus says, you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. We bring something that the world cannot generate by itself. And I pray that this has helped you, and I pray that this will strengthen you and enable you to continue to work on your marriage on your own, and bring that transformation. For those who have their spouses to work with them, even better. But a lot of people in the world today are the ones taking leadership to change their marriage. And if you are that person, I want to celebrate you, and I want to honor you today, because you are doing a great work. Do not give up. Do not give in. Keep pushing. Keep moving. You will have a reason to rejoice soon. And even if the marriage itself doesn't come back to the way you want it to be, you will be a different person. You will be filled with God's love and God's power, and you will have a reason to keep going. And you will have testimonies even from what He does in your life and in other relationships. But I've seen so many marriages, impossible marriages, turned around. I've seen so many lives impacted, and I want to assure you that it's worth every moment of the time that you take to study this stuff and to practice it and to get a coach to help you in the process. If this is helpful to you, please like the video so that others will see it. And if you want to know more and get even more from me, then register for my masterclass at adesobanjo.com, my first name, my last name.com/masterclass. It's a live masterclass where I teach the 5 steps that you need to follow to transform your marriage from wherever it is to the next level. Even if you're working on your own, the focus is even if you are working on your own. This way, you no longer need to wait for your spouse to go with you to a therapist or a counselor. You can start the work right away, and you can bring the power of God, the power that transforms, that brings salvation. You can bring that same power into your marriage to change it the same way the power changed you. All right, so register for that, for my masterclass. And if you are ready, you say, you know what, I can't wait for the masterclass. I'm ready to hire you now to start helping me. Then fantastic. So go to adesobanjo.com right now /chat chat, and you may be able to book a 15 minutes time with me to talk about that, or send me an email, put a comment in on this video. Anyhow, just reach out. I'll be very happy to stand with you, help you, and show you a strategy, and we can work on your marriage. I always try to say to someone, every day you wait longer to get help is another day that you're breaking yourself, that you're experiencing unnecessary stress. I want you to start working on it right now, start changing things right now. The earlier you do, the better. Every person that's working on their marriage, whether you're working alone or working with your spouse, you are doing a great work. Not just for yourself. You're doing a work for you. You're doing a work for your spouse. You're taking leadership for your children, if you have any. You're taking leadership for the next generation, and you are taking you're protecting yourself from breakdown, and giving yourself an opportunity to be a light, a disciple maker to the world all around you. So you are doing a great work. I salute you, and I encourage you. That's it for today. Until next week, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord strengthen you. And go ahead and live like Jesus so that you can have what? Mega impact. Bye for now.